Proprietary FX, Forex signals and education services. Proprietary FX. Ethics, Forex signals and education services.
So guys, welcome to this call that will be talking and going over what exactly is Forex funding account, right? My name is Franklin from Proprietary FX. So there are three of us. Franklin, there is Martin, who's also on this call under the name of Proprietary FX, and there's also Dennis. So anything regarding Proprietary FX, please contact us. If you have any questions, any ideas, whatever it may be, any thoughts, please contact us and we'll be more than happy to help you with those queries. Again, my theme of calls is I want it to be as interactive as possible, right? And what does that mean? So that means if you guys have any, so while I'm talking, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, any ideas, please let me know, right? Please let me know. I want this call to be as productive and as informational to you guys as possible. And from my experience in either being involved in this course or being actually running this course, I found that when people are more interactive, that often leads to those people finding those calls very informative. And that's the whole aim of this call. So please ask as many questions as possible. So without further ado, let me get started. So before I started talking about the whole Forex side, I was just going to introduce myself so you kind of knew what my brief of what my background is, where I come from and what I'm about and so on, and hopefully that should give you an idea of, you know, where my knowledge has actually come from. So first name is Franklin, 26 years old, currently living in the UK. I found out that there's somebody in here, her name with the name Baggy, who also lives nearby. So that's quite interesting. In terms of languages, I speak both English and Swahili, or English as you can hear me. So I am an East African, so Kenyan, well, originally Tanzanian, right? So, but obviously, when I say East African, I belong to all of you guys. So Kenyans, Ugandans, Rwandese, Burundi, whatever. So I'm one of you guys, right? I'm one of you. So personal stuff aside, trading background. The first time I came across trading was 2015. But that was a time of where it was trading without the educational side, right? And there was a lot of mistakes, there was a lot of gambling involved. But the biggest change happened when I started to trade Forex again in 2018 in October. That was when I was exposed to the whole educational side. So before October 2018, I had no idea what a stop loss is, right? And I had no idea what risk management was. I had no idea what lot sizes were, right? I was just risking some crazy amounts, right? I had no idea what an actual strategy is. I had no idea of a specific entry, a specific exit point, whatever. And as I'm saying these things, there might be a few of you on the call who can relate. You're at this point in your life where you're interested in the Forex world, but some of the things that I've just said still don't make, they don't quite make sense. Well, it's now that you're part of the team, now that you're part of Proprietary FX, it is our job to kind of make sure that you understand those terms. So we're here to kind of guide you and help you through the educational side, because that's where you can really trade Forex well and professionally, and have a lot of profits in the long term, right? So 2018, that's when I kind of stumbled onto the whole educational side. Now, when I bumped into psychology, right, it gave me, it was such a game changer, right? Because it didn't just help me with my trading, it helped me with my own life. I was suddenly getting answers of so many questions that I had years on before, right? So psychology is a huge part of trading. So for those who don't or have never really heard of, or don't have an idea of what's in terms of skills wise, what's required in trading, overall you need about three things, right? You need risk management, you will need a good strategy, right? And you will need psychology, right? So, but in terms of percentage wise, you can say a strategy is about 15%, right? In terms of risk management, that's about 25%. So adding those two together, that's 35%. But that means that the other percent that's left, 65%, that's all psychology. And the reason why psychology is so important is because risk management and your strategy will tell you what to do, right? But psychology tells you exactly how to do it, right? I've always said it's what makes a soldier is not their ability to just pull the trigger, right? But how do you pull that trigger? Anybody can pull the trigger, right? But how do you pull that trigger? How do you aim at a particular spot, or how do you do it in a safely manner? How do you do it in a way that you're more accurate, right, than not, so you make more shots than you miss. So psychology is absolutely important, and how well your psychology is, right, that will determine how successful you are with risk management and your strategy, right? So psychology is absolutely huge. Anyway, so me coming into the Forex side and really learning the education, I fell in love with psychology because it changed my trading as well as my life, and I decided to kind of specialize in it just because it was such a big factor, right? So at the moment I'm specializing in risk management and psychology. Strategies, I've got 2-3 good strategies, but as a team I think we have 3 profitable working strategies. So at FX, as in the VIP, we share the strategies that are not just any strategies. The strategies that we share, they're tested and they're proven, and they are the strategies that have made us quite successful. So successful that we're here having this conversation with you, right? Anyway, so part of my growth, I got to speak to different traders, right? Again, this is the importance of having a group or being in a group of where there are other traders in there. You kind of start to share knowledge, right? Bounce things off, because what you know, right, might be different to what I know. So, but if we communicate on that, well, we can learn from each other, right? So that's what I was doing. With that mentality, I started to speak with other traders, right? Other professional traders. So these are traders that are trading for banks. Some of them working for the government. Some of them are traders like private traders, but I've been trading for a while, so they have experience. Anyway, from speaking to them, I was exposed to the whole side of having a Forex funded account. So from the beginning of 2020, that's when my journey of being a funded trader began. And from that moment, I no longer trade my own money, right? Because my own money, I think at the time was about 6k, so £6,000. Translate that into dollars, it might just be about just over $8,000. Not a lot, but on the funded side, I was being offered, right, the opportunity to trade an account that's 50k, that's 100k, right, and there's growth on those accounts over the long term. So it made more sense for me to go and trade with those accounts instead of my own money, just because it was the capital was more. So my opportunity of making more money was a little bit easier, right? Anyway, we're gonna speak about some of those things. So just know, in terms of funded, personally, I started in 2020, and now I'm speaking to people that have been funding for years, and their accounts are incredible, right? I have a few people who their accounts are 7 figures, funded accounts, and we will talk about the benefits of having a funded account, other than just it being more capital than what you would usually have, right? So anyway, without further ado, that's enough about me. So you can tell I'm an Arsenal fan, right? I know they're not doing well at the moment, but please bear with us. We will come back, right? I hope. If we have any Manchester United fans in the building, boo. Any Liverpool fans in the call, please leave now. I'm joking, guys. Everybody's welcome. Anyway, so let's move on. So exactly where does the whole funded account situation, kind of that funded account opportunity, fit in? So earlier I asked if anybody has heard of the term funded account, and somebody said proprietary firm, right? And they were absolutely correct. So you're probably wondering exactly what is a proprietary firm or a prop firm, just a shorter version of the name. So this is basically a company who and the owners of that company, they have a large amount of money, and what they're willing to do is find traders to actually trade that money. So the company provides the capital, right? The traders coming on board, they provide the trading skills, right? So the company acts as an investor, and the whole idea is that, yeah, of course, they come in with the capital, you come in with the trading skills, and whatever profits you make, you share, right? So for example, if you had an account, if they give you an account of, let's say, $100,000, right? And at the end of the month, you made 10%. So 10% of $100,000 would be 10K. Now, considering that you're sharing 50-50, in that situation, you would take home 5K, the company would take 5K, right? So that's what profit share means, right? And there are different percentages. Some companies offer 50-50, some companies will offer 70-30, and that 70-30 could be, let's say, 70% goes to you, and 30% goes to them, or the other way around. 70% goes to the company and 30% comes to you. Either way, right, you're still making money, right? You're still making money, right? And the fourth point on here is account growth. So some companies, what they tell you is like, hey, if you are consistently making money, we will double your account. So if you start on 100K, let's say you made 10% over a period, I don't know, of 2 months, right? They say, okay, we like this. Clearly you understand risk management. Clearly you have a proven system, so a proven strategy, and your psychology as well. Because if your psychology isn't well, your risk management wouldn't work well. Neither would your strategy, right? So clearly you have the skills that we're looking for. What is then best in our interest, since we have more money, is to double your account. So from 100, right, you go to 200, right? Again, you make 10% of that. That's 20K, right? 50-50 situation, right? They take 10K, you take 10K. So if your skills in trading are really good, right, there are companies out there that are willing to fund you, right? There are companies out there that are willing to fund you, and this is where money really, really is in trading, right? This is where money really. When I began trading, I had no idea of this, and I thought everybody who was a 6-figure trader, 7-figure trader, they were trading their own money. Now there are some people that are doing that, but it's a very small percentage. Very, very small percentage. A lot of them are actually working with these prop firms, right? And the best things about these prop firms is you don't have to sit on their desks, right? You don't have to go to their office and trade. So I've never been to their offices, right? Never been to their offices. I do everything from my house, right? I still work, right? And I'm still able to trade for these prop firms, right? And it just works so well, and the game has changed. Whereas before, I think some of you might have heard, depending on how much knowledge you have, before, to get funded, you needed a track record. So you needed some trading experience of where you've been trading for like 2-3 years, and you've got that track record that says you're profitable, right? That's now changed to where a company will offer you a challenge. Right, say, okay, you want to trade with us? Okay, cool. We will give you a challenge that will test your trading skills. If you pass that challenge, right, they fund you straight away. You pass that challenge, they fund you straight away, right? So you went from a situation where you need a track record which you'd produce in 2-3 years time, right, to not needing a track record and just being able to take that evaluation or that exam, that test that the company gives you. Right, and then once you pass that, right, you get involved, right? You get the funded account, right? And that's a big part of what we are at the VIP group are trying to do, right? We will talk more about that going forward. So again, if you have any questions, any urgent questions, you can ask them now, right? But if you any question that's not so urgent, just type into the chat and I'll get back to it when I finish this presentation. So what I'm going to do is probably give like 20 seconds for anybody who has a question. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute you all, right? So be nice. Everybody speak only at don't all speak at once. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So everybody is unmuted. So if anybody has a question, please let me know. I think the baby had a question. Go on.
Okay, so you say the company will give you like a challenge and then once you pass it, you will be funded?
Correct.
Okay. So my question is, do they need to see like your credit history or something, or okay, does the company control? I'm assuming the company controls the money in a way that it doesn't come to you straight, right?
Yeah. So what basically happens is this: they will give you. They have a relationship with the broker. So what happens is they will create an account with the broker, put money into it, and what they do then is send you the logins of that account, right? So it's like account management, but with a lot more flexibility and a lot more profit share. Let me just quickly come off this because it seems like we have a question. Where is it? How long is the challenge? Okay, we will go through this, Kim. I will show you an example of a challenge. Right, so that's fine. Any other questions before I move on?
What's that test?
Sorry?
What is that test to go to pass?
Yeah, I will show you that. We will discuss that. So I will talk about one of the companies, and yeah, we will see exactly what the test is, exactly what the requirement is, exactly what the period is. So hopefully that should give you more information and kind of an idea of what it takes to complete the challenge.
Because my exact question is, does it favor any country? Like, would they be like, because you come from here, and you cannot do this?
With some companies, yes. With some companies, no. For example, now that so the admins of Atrio FX, obviously we are working with these companies. So what we're able to do, we said, hey, we have a company called Atrio FX, right? This company provides signal services and education services. So we have students who are good traders. So we would like to almost say what's the right word that I'm trying to find here? We would like to recommend this trader, right? So if you are coming from a country, if you are in a country of where they don't support, with our recommendations, they will take you on. Another question? I think somebody was trying to ask something. Okay, I think we're out of question on that particular topic, so I'm going to swiftly move on, if that's okay. Going once, twice, sold. Alright. Let's go. Cool. Let's go back. Just carry on. Oh, not from the beginning, from the current slide. Cool. So next one. So what are the benefits, right? What are the benefits of using a funded account? So clearly the first benefit, right, is the large capital, because 10% of let's say $1,000 to, let's just keep it simple, $10,000 is different, right? 10% of $1,000 is $100, right? 10% of $10,000 is $1,000. So you being able to trade in a large capital, you can achieve the same percentage. So you can keep your process. You can have the same process but achieve more money. So for example, if you were a trader that was risking, that was achieving 10% on a monthly basis with an account that's $1,000. Now, if you are given an account that's $10,000 and you're using the same process, right? The same process, you're just changing your risk parameters, right? And now you're also achieving 10%. Your 10% that you would achieve from your $10,000 would be a lot bigger, clearly, than the 10% that you would achieve in your $1,000 account, right? So the monetary value is different, right? So the larger the capital you have, right, the more money you make, right? That's quite free. And the second one, obviously, is risk-free, right? So the company takes all the risk, right? But obviously, you must still manage this account, right? You must still manage this account as if it was all your money, because technically it is your money. Without that money, you're not making any money. You will go back to your small little account, right? So it's in your best interest to treat that money as it is your own money, because technically it is, right? It is your investment. That's the investment that you have been given. So protect it with your life. So treat it as if it was exactly your own money. But overall, if something was to go bad, right, the risks are being held by the company, right? Everything. So it suits. Now, that's different compared to if it was your personal account, right? Something crazy happens, and you've blown your account. You've blown. That's your own personal situation, right? And I think with a funded account, there are risk measures in place that will not allow you to lose a certain amount of money. So there is some sort of structure, right? And I never knew how important structure was until I really got involved and really got deeper into the whole trading education side. Because I used to listen to a guy called Etienne. So Etienne is a guy that has a podcast called Desire to Trade. So if anybody hasn't heard of that, please search a podcast on Google. It's on YouTube. It's called Desire to Trade. What this guy does is that he interviews other professional traders, and in that interview they talk about their journey from where they started to how they got to a point of where they're now professionals, and that gave me a lot of insight of all the challenges that traders are facing but are actually coming through. So it helped me quite a bit. Now, one of the things that they spoke about was the difference from when a person, let's say, starts trading for a company, whether a bank or a big hedge fund or a financial institute. So the difference of that to when they go to trade for themselves personally, right? And a lot of people fail. So they do very well when they're trading for a company, but when they go trade for themselves personally, they fail, right? Or they have a really difficult time. And the only difference was structure. Structure was the only difference between those two scenarios, right? Because when you're trading for a company, that company has structures in place to help you, right? They will say you cannot lose more than a particular amount a day. You cannot you cannot risk more than a particular amount on a single trade, right? So those are all structures that are there to help you, right? Now, if you haven't really understood those structures or realized the importance of those structures, and then you went away to do something on your own, all of a sudden you were your own boss. There was nobody to tell you can't risk this much. There was nobody to tell you, or you can't lose this much in a day, or you can't take this amount of trades in a day. So without that structure, you then started doing all crazy stuff, right? Because you're not protected by a structure that you previously had in a company. So again, a big advantage of working with these companies that they will give you a structure which you will definitely need in the beginning until you really are able to create a very good structure or a better structure for yourself. So yeah, many benefits, but for me, I think large capital, risk-free are some of the big benefits. So going forward, allow management sales. No, can't give them that freedom. So some of those companies out there, right? There's a company called Fivers. So Fiverr is a company that's based in Israel, and they offer this opportunity. I think their evaluation, I'd love to give you more information about these companies, but I'm going to give you just the names. So please, if you're interested, take time, go through these companies, right, and find out what they offer, right? And yeah, I think that's quite fair enough, because there might be people in this call that aren't really interested in the inner details right now. So please, if you are interested, take time out yourself and look at these companies: Fivers, FTMO, and Blue FX. Those are the companies that I've dealt with. Those are the companies that I am currently working with, and I recommend them quite well because of two things. One, their requirements are quite well. They're quite fair, and also the amount of money that they're allowing you to trade with, to start with, and also to risk in a particular trade is actually fair. So yeah, but overall there are many companies out there. These three aren't the only ones, but these are the three that I would personally recommend, as I am personally working with all three of them. So what I'm going to do is briefly talk about FTMO, right, because that's the one that I think is easiest to explain. So hopefully I can then answer those questions of, hey, how long is their exam, right? How much are they offering? And exactly what is the requirement, right? Hopefully I can do that. So here we go, let's get started. So scrolling down, so this is their page saying, hey, we Forex. So yeah, good Forex traders are wanted. We fund good traders, right? So have a look at their website, make yourself familiar with everything that they're offering, right? It says trading firms where you can remotely manage funded accounts of up to $100,000, right? So remotely do it. So you don't need to be where this particular company is actually based in Czech Republic, and I'm due to fly over there soon too. I was actually due to fly over there next week, but obviously with Corona, that's not happening, right? So when the Corona stuff goes down, I'll go over there and have a one-to-one meeting and see what other opportunities they have for somebody like myself, and then I will take that information and come share it with everybody in the VIP, because that's the whole point of me holding those conversations, right? So it's quite simple. The funding process goes like this, right? The first one is the challenge, right? Once you go through, and I will tell you exactly what the challenge is when I go below on this particular page. So you go through the challenge, you pass the challenge, there's a verification. You pass the verification, you become a funded trader, right? You become a funded trader. Once you become a funded trader, right, trade risk-free and receive 70% of your profits, right? Be consistent and earn even more capital, right? So we'll talk about that as well. How can you earn more capital? How can you increase the amount of capital that you are controlling? Because of course, the more capital you are controlling, the more capital you are managing, right, the more of this you can make, right? The more of this you can make. Anyway, so going further, so here's what they do. So step one is the challenge, and they offer you. There's an offer. Aggie raised a hand. Okay. Aggie, go on. Aggie, I've unmuted you, so let's hear it. Does anybody else have a question? If you do, raise your hand. I'll see it and I will unmute you. Alright, so Aggie doesn't have a question. Okay, cool. Anyway, so the first step is the challenge, right? So the trading period, I think Kim asked this, is 30 days. This is a month, right? A month. So, and this is actually just under 5 weeks. I think it's 4.5 weeks, which is plenty, right? Minimum trading days is 10 days. What that means is you must place a trade at least, so one trade a day at least for 10 days, right? So for example, and that's a no-brainer. If there are people that are placing 5 trades a day, if depending on how you trade, right? But overall you've got 30 days, so you've got a really good opportunity to kind of place your trades and kind of just and spread them out. And even if you go through a period of where, let's say, you have you've only been able to see your opportunity. I can't hear clearly. Okay, I'd love to help you with that, but unfortunately I am not. But I will. This is recorded, Caroline, so you'll be able to see and hopefully hear it a lot clearer because I'm doing the recording. So yeah, minimum trading days is 10 days, which is doable, right? Maximum daily loss. So for example, if you took an account of 50k, right, the maximum daily loss is 5%. So in one particular day, you cannot lose more than 5%. This is where risk management comes in, right? So if you do not understand risk management, or your risk management is all over the place, right, that needs work. And I've already spoken to a few of you, and I've spent a lot of time speaking to the guys in the VIP, giving them advices on risk management and exactly how they can keep their risk to a particular number, right? So where you're not managing pips, but you're managing money. These guys don't care about the pips. These guys care about money, right? So those are some of the techniques that we share in the group. Anyway, I'll answer those questions later on. So so that's daily loss. Maximum loss. So the maximum you can lose throughout this entire challenge is 10%, right? So if you're out here, if your trading is going like this, like that, like this, like that, you're not passing this challenge. What they want to see is a nice curve up, or if you go down, fair enough, but not down to a point of where you've lost 10%. So again, risk management is absolutely key. And hopefully, guys, in the VIP, you now maybe have more of an understanding of why I always bang about risk management. Where I always bang on about risk management, because it's absolutely critical. Risk management is so important to a point where if you are unable to keep money in your account, you are not trading at all. So if you want this opportunity, right, but you don't understand risk management, you are not having this opportunity. Without money, you cannot trade. So always remember that. Without managing you must have money in your account for you to trade. Without money, you cannot trade. Taking it away from trading without good health, I don't care what ambitions you have, right, it's going to be very difficult for you to meet those ambitions. So your money, your risk management is your lifeline. It is your number one priority as a trader. I don't care how much money you want to make in this industry. You must have money to make money. I hope I am being very clear. And I'm emphasizing this with quite some strength, just so you really understand the importance. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't understand risk management, if you don't apply risk management, none of that matters, guys. None of that matters, right? So risk management is key, very key. If you go back to my example where I was talking about the 3 trading skills and their percentages, strategy was I think it was 15, and risk management was 20. So risk management is worth more than your strategy, right? And this is where a lot of people are failing, because you're being given a strategy, but how do you manage your risk? Because every strategy will lose, but how do you manage those losses, right? How do you manage those losses? And if you can't manage those losses, you won't have money to make another trade. Simple as that. So you won't have an opportunity to make that strategy or to put that strategy into use. So guys, let me be very, very clear, right? Again, this is something that we in the VIP group, we focus so much. So if you're not part of the VIP, or if you are not actually taking a course, any Forex course, it doesn't have to be Actuary FX VIP, and you don't understand risk management, or as I'm talking now, you're still not understanding what risk management is, right? Find out. Make an investment to find out what risk management is. Make an investment to find out what skills you need to trade, right? You want to be a doctor, right? They go to uni, right? They go to medical school, right? So if you want to be a successful trader, make an investment into the education. Without it, you will lose money. And I say you will lose money, some of you have already lost money, but hopefully now you understand why, right? Hopefully now you understand why. It is my aim that you come back from losing money, right? And you actually now lose less money than you make, right? You will lose less money than you make. So at the end of the day, you will end up with more money, right, than you started with. And that's it. Really, really, really simple. Risk management is absolute key. Anyway, to pass this style challenge, so obviously you must not lose a particular amount. So in a day, you can't lose more than 5%. Overall, you can't lose more than 10%. But another requirement is that you must make 10%. So you must not only lose, you must make 10% in a space of those 10 days. And it's quite simple. I think I was on a call with somebody today and I was talking about, is it? No, it's not here. We were talking about the possibilities. So how could you make 10%, right? Is it easy to make 10% in a month? So I'm going to go through what I spoke to them about today. And hopefully it will make sense. So let's say you have a strategy that has a risk reward of 1 to 3, meaning you're risking 1% or you're risking 1 to get 3. So that's your strategy, right? Strategy. Great. Now you've also decided to risk 1% for every single trade that you're trading. So 1%, right? 1% risk. Now with this strategy, you take, I don't know, let's say you take 15 trades in a month, which is quite a good number. It's quite a low number as well. A lot of people take 200. If you're a scalper, people, oh my god, it's crazy how many trades people take, right? So this example just works on you taking 15 trades. So 15 trades a month, right? So remember, your strategy is positive 3 to 1. So we're gonna try to simulate 15 individual results and 15 individual trades and their results. So you do the first trade, right? You won 3. Because remember, every time you win 3. Every time you lose 1, right? So you won 3, you lost 1. You won 3, you lost 1. You lost 1 again. Maybe you lost 1 again, right? You won again, right? You lost, you won, you lost, you won, you lost. How many are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? Let's say you won, right? So hopefully it's about 50-50. I'm not gonna go around counting it. So if we count all of our winners, so we've got 1 here, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. That's a lot of winners. Flipping out. 21, right? And let's take away our losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 21 minus 7 is 14. So if you're risking 1%, right, just through this quick math, you've earned that 10%, right? So you've now been able to achieve 14%. You won 21, but because you also lost 7, you take that away, you've received 14%. So all of a sudden, right, this 10% becomes very small, right? That 10% becomes very, very, very small, right? Guys, does anybody have any questions? If you have a question, put your hand up. I will unmute you. And you can have that opportunity to ask your question. So, Kim, you originally had the question of how long is a challenge. So, is that question now answered? Is she still on the call? Yes. Okay. That's answered. Okay, that's cool. Is everybody else okay with what I've just described? there's a saying that no news is good news. So since I'm hearing nothing, I'm hearing we're all good, right? If not, please let me know. All okay. Okay, good. I'm glad it's making sense. I'm okay. Okay, good. So right, so just following this process, right, you've managed to pass the challenge, right? Michelle's all good. That's good to hear. So yeah, so just following this process, you've managed to pass the challenge. Now the next step is the verification. So verification, they're saying, hey, we're gonna give you twice the amount of days, so you now have 60 days, right? You must also still make those 10 days of trading, right? You're in a day you cannot lose more than 5%, right? And the maximum loss is exactly the same. You cannot lose more than 10% throughout the entire challenge of verification. But this time around, your profit target is only 5%. 5%. All you have to do, because if successful traders will have this as a process, meaning they take the same type of trades, they risk the same amount of money, and usually roughly they have the same type of results. So what we could do is just times this by 2, or just duplicate that. So the next month duplicate that. Now let's say I don't know, you have a poor month and you achieve something half of what you achieved the previous month. You achieve 7%, right? That 7% still passes you through this challenge. That 7% still allows you to pass through the verification challenge, right? And all of a sudden, you are an FTMO funded trader who's controlling $50,000, right? 50,000. So again, let's say you have become a funded trader, right? And then on your first month you made 10%, right? So you made 5k, right? Just simple, nothing too crazy. And the greatest thing is when you become a funded trader, there is no profit target. So even if you make 2%, it's fine. You make 1%, it's fine. Even if you are minus, as long as you're not minus the 10%, you're fine. You're still a funded trader, right? So hopefully, again, this gives you guys the importance, or kind of makes you guys realize the importance of having a process, because the process will make sure that everything is consistent. Everything is consistent. So what you're doing this month is exactly what you're doing the next month, right? Now, it's easy for me to say that, but for many traders, that is something they're having such a huge problem. They'll take one trade for one reason and take another trade for completely a different reason. Or why? You were only supposed to take trades for this one particular reason. So why are you taking trades that are for a different reason altogether? But we will give you a way to kind of deal with that, and I'll speak more about that in the next slides. So anyway, you made your 10%, right? So which would equal 5,000, right? They're saying, hey, we will give you 70% of what you made, right? 70%, right, of what you made. So quick maths would tell me 10% of what you've made is 500. Yeah, it's 500. So if you times that by 7, oops, where we going? If you times that by 7, it would be what? 3,500, right? So you've made 3,500 a month, right? With money that was never your own in the first place. All you brought into the game is your skills, right? All you've brought into the game is your skills. Now imagine you're now controlling an account. Let's say you are you're now controlling an account that's 100k, right? Same example, right? You've made 10k, right? 10k profit, right? From that you take away 7k, right? From that you take away 7k, right? And these guys, in terms of increasing your capital, they're saying, hey, we are willing to give you, so per challenge you can apply up to 100,000, but you can take multiple challenges, right? So if you take 2 challenges of 100k each, right, and you pass them all, that will mean that you are now being funded 200k, right? And then what's 10% of that, right? 20k. So what's your cut from that? something, I think it's something around 14k, right? Do you see how there is an opportunity here to make a lot of money, right? And this is possible, but how do you actually do this? How do you actually get to a point of where you have the right skills, right? You have the right skills that will allow you to take care of, to take advantage of these opportunities. But before we go on to that, I just wanted to remind you to take these challenges. There is a one-time fee. So depending on the size of the account, so for example, 10k, 155 euros, right? 25k, 250 euros, 50k, 345, right? 100k, 540. So what you could do, if you get to a point where you know that you're trading as well and your results are telling you, hey, you're trading well, why don't you just save money instead of taking this, instead of spending this, save this money and come and take this straight away, right? Because that's what I did, right? That's exactly what I did. I never started down here because I know the process of winning, of passing this challenge, right, is exactly the same as the process of passing this challenge here. The only difference was the money, and I had the money, so why not go for 100k challenge? That's exactly what I did. But let's go back to the presentation and talk about exactly what is required, right, for you to actually be able to have those results that are attractive, results that would allow you to take opportunities, to take advantages of those opportunities. Right, number one, right, risk management. I think I spent like 30, it felt like 30 minutes, but I spent a good 1 to 2 minutes talking about the importance of risk management, right? It is your number one priority. I can't be more clear on the situation, right? If you will never make the profits of that 10% if you can't control your risk management. If you can't control your risk management, if you can't control your losses will come into the game. Let nobody lie to you and say, oh, you will never lose in trading, or I have a strategy that you will never lose. It's a lie, right? It is a lie. And one of the things that we are talking about in the in AtrioFX VIP group is how losses are unavoidable. So losses are part of the game. You just need to learn to accept them, right? Once you accept them and you apply risk management, you can take care of the losses. Going back to this example, right? There are many losses here, right? It's quite simple, right? There were 7 losses here, right? But as long as we are making more money than what we are losing, right, we are making money in the end. As long as those losses are consistent, so you're not losing 1% today and then losing 5% tomorrow and then losing 10% tomorrow, that's not risk management, right? So you've got to find a way of keeping your losses minimal. And when I say losses minimal, I'm not talking lot sizes. I'm talking the dollar value. Because if you're keeping the lot size constant, right, I bet I can put every single dime I have on a bet that your dollar values are fluctuating like this, just fluctuating like that, right? Because you are actually focusing on the wrong side. Forget the lot size, right? What you need to really focus on is the dollar size, and we have a way of how we can show you how to do that and actually prove how that works, right? And get you to a point of where you are comfortable using it. And it's actually a really simple calculation, right? But anyway, so risk management is important. Without that, your strategy won't matter and your psychology clearly isn't working, right? So risk management is key. After that, you need a reward positive strategy, right? A reward positive strategy, similar to the example that I've used here, a strategy that says, hey, with this strategy, there's a higher probability of you making more than losing. There is a higher probability of you making more money than you would lose, right? So now swiftly talking about the education service that we offer at AtrioFX. So remember, you need 3 things, right? You need risk management, right? You also need a strategy that's positive in terms of the rewards, and you also need psychology, right? Here's what we offer. Here's what we would offer you, right? We offer you 3 strategies, right? 3 different strategies. and every single one of these strategies is reward positive, meaning that you are targeting more than what you are risking. So in the long term, you should make money, right? These are easy to learn strategies. So when we were coming up with these strategies, when we were deciding what strategies do we share, we considered two things. A, it has to be proven, right? B, it has to be well tested, and it has to be easy for somebody else to learn, especially a beginner trader. Guys, we've been through that journey, so we understand exactly where you are, right? We understand exactly where you are. So we are able to use that knowledge and experience to create something that is suitable for you, something that will give you the best chance, right? Let me just move this. Do you know what? Let's do that, right? So we're able to use that experience to give you something that works. So we have 3 strategies, and the advantage of having multiple strategies is that you can choose which one suits you better. If I was to just give you one strategy, then you were pretty much forced to just learn and work with that one strategy. We're giving you 3. So depending on what type of personality you have and what you are finding easier in terms of learning, right? Everybody has different learning capabilities, right? Whatever you're finding, you can pick a particular strategy, right? So in the requirement that you need a strategy that is reward positive, we can tick that, right? We're now going over to the trading skills. We are covering 5 trading skills, and these are the trading skills that I've personally used and have helped me so much, right? Again, I don't need to talk about risk management anymore because you know it, right? Preserve your capital, protect your capital. If you cannot control the money in your account, there won't be money in your account left, and you will not be able to trade. So risk management is huge, right? And we have several things that will help you develop those risk management skills, and a calculation that will keep your dollar value positive. Forget the lot sizes. That's a whole different ballgame. The reasons why keeping constant lot sizes doesn't work is because these markets are different. These markets move in different volatility, right? It's like driving a Ferrari and a Toyota, right? These cars are different, right? One car is faster than the other, so one market is moving faster than the other. So when you're risking a particular, or let's say if you're using the same test criteria to test let's say a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and a Toyota, clearly something's wrong, right? Clearly that won't work out well, right? And that's exactly what you're doing when you're focusing on the lot sizes. And everybody preaches about lot sizes, right? Everybody preaches, but that's also one of the biggest reasons why there are so many failures in trading, because people are unable to truly understand risk management and keep their losses to a particular number, keep their losses to what actually matters, which is the dollar value. You don't control pips. If you open your bank accounts, you are not seeing pips, you are seeing money. You are seeing money in currency value, whatever it may be, dollar, euro, pound, and so on, right? So risk management, absolutely key. After that, your chart analysis. So this is your ability for you to look at the charts, right, and actually find opportunities for yourself, right? We won't always be around, and to be fair, we don't want you to rely on us throughout your entire trading career, right? We really don't want that. We really want you to be able to be completely independent, right? So you are able to look at the charts and find out and find those opportunities for yourself. Now that is a lot more there's a lot more psychological involvement in that than just the ability of knowing technical analysis, right? Because you are only able to identify something that you know, or you're only able to identify something when you're in the correct mindset, right? Have you ever gone through a particular place, right? Let's say you've gone through it multiple times, but one particular time you saw something that you hadn't seen before, right? Well, you're the same person, but why was it that you were exposed to more information in one particular instance than all the other particular instances? The difference is your mind. So what type of mindset are you in when you're looking at the market, right? Again, something that I don't know whether you've heard about, but I'm pretty sure there's a large amount of you in this group that haven't heard of that. Another thing is strategy. Is how do you execute a strategy? So we give you a strategy, we tell you the strategy works, but how do you actually do it? Right? How do you do it without error? How do you actually carry out how do you remain consistent with that strategy? right? We teach you that as well. Again, psychology is a huge part of that. So how do you do something the exact same way over a period of time, right? Huge part. Psychology plays into that. The next one, right? Accumulation. So how do you accumulate your account, right? This will happen to you at a later stage. So if you're successful, this will happen to you at a later stage. So for example, there are professional traders who are unable to get over the million mark. So they're unable to get to a point of where they're making more than $1 million, right? And again, psychological is a big part of this, because there are some people that believe, for example, that they don't deserve $1 million US. So if you believe that you do not deserve something, your thoughts will be negative, your emotions will be negative, right? And as a result of that, your actions will be negative, and then your results will be negative, right? So the process is simple. Your thoughts will control your emotions, right? Your emotions will control your actions will control your results. Now, this isn't just trading, this is a life, right? Think about it. When you feel bad, what type of thoughts are you having, right? When you feel happy, what type of thoughts are you having? Or the other way around, when you're having happy thoughts, what type of feeling are you having? When you're having negative thoughts, what type of feelings are you having, right? So for example, you clearly have a positive belief that you will be successful in trading. As a result of that positive belief, right, you had the thought that, I can do this, right? And as a result of having that thought, you felt, this is possible. You were excited. You were happy to take part, right? You were looking forward to it, right? You were curious, right? These are all the emotions that were as a result of you having a positive thought. Now, from those positive emotions, right, you somehow found actual effects. You somehow spoken to people about trading, right? That's gotten you here. Now, as a result of that, the results are that you are now communicating with me. You are now communicating with all these other traders, right? So the process is very, very, very simple. But I was never aware of that before. But now I'm aware of that, and things in my life are so straight. I know exactly what I should do. If I want to be motivated to do a particular thing, I need to look at my thoughts, and then I need to see what are emotions. So if I want to do something, how do I feel about it? If I don't feel good, why do I not feel good, right? Because if I don't feel good, my actions will be negative. You want to go to the gym, right? But you don't feel like, every time the time arrives for you to go to the gym, you don't feel like going to the gym. Why not, right? And that's the reason why you don't go to the gym, right? And if you do go to the gym, your results will be poor, right? So psychology is such a huge part, and that's the reason why it's 80% of your trading success. 80% of your trading success, because every other skill will tell you what to do. Psychology will tell you how to do it. Big part, right? Overall, so it's how to manage and control your emotions, how to control and manage and guide your thoughts to produce beneficial emotions, which produce actions that will benefit your trading, right? So psychology is huge, but now at least you have an idea why. Now, but also ask yourself, from everything that you've heard about trading so far, how much have you heard regarding psychology? How many of them have told you, hey, psychology is important? Because remember, somebody can only tell you something if they know it. A parent cannot teach a child something that they do not understand. So a Forex company cannot teach you something that they don't understand. They can't make you aware of something that they don't know, right? So we are making you aware of this, right? Because we know it. The reason why others are not making you aware of this is because they do not know it, right? And that's one of the reasons why the failure is so high in trading, right? They say 70% don't make it. Well, it's a lie. 90% don't make it. So there is a 90-90 rule that 90% of traders are not profitable over a period of 90 days, or lose their account, or lose 90% of their account in 90 days. 90% of traders will lose 90% of their account in 90 days. 90, right? And that is so famous. Search it on Google, search it wherever you want, on YouTube, right? Wherever you feel comfortable, right? So Actual Effects, the education services, this is what we're giving you. We are giving you everything you need as a service into one, right, for you to be successful. On top of this, there is a signal service. So in your early stages, while you're trying to develop all these skills, there is a signal service that will help you earn money, right, in the long process. And with that signal services, you will actually have an opportunity to practice risk management. So all the chart analysis is done for you, or you are being given instructions of how to actually trade that particular strategy, how to actually execute it, right? And all the psychological stuff is to an extent kind of done for you. Most of it is done. All you have to do is take the trade. All you have to do, right? So you are basically receiving 2-in-1. So if you are somebody who's not interested in learning how to trade, then take advantage of the signals. But if you are interested in learning how to trade, you also have the signal as an add-on. So guys, I'd like to finish there. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. If you do, please let me know. I'm gonna try and unmute everybody. Just 1 second. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. And I think so. What can I do now? Let me see if I can unmute everyone. So guys, now everybody's unmuted. So any questions, just throw them at me. I'm ready. Let's go. Okay. Very good presentation. Well done. Thank you, Baggy. We try. Repping West Midlands. So guys, any questions at all? And no question is a stupid question. So please feel free, and let's make this as informational as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna go with what with how I did this earlier. So no questions means everybody's okay, everybody understands. Am I okay to assume that?
I have a question, Brother Franklin.
Okay.
On behalf of those who are thinking the same as I'm thinking right now. So let's say, for example, you've taken the challenge phase, you passed. The evaluation process or the evaluation stage, you pass it.
Yep.
Of course, they're funding the account.
Yep.
And the rule is making 10% without losing 10%.
So one second, Karen. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. Karen, with your question. Let me let you finish.
Okay, no problem. So the company is quite sure that you're a good trader to that extent, that they believe in the fact that you've proven 2 times that you made 10% without losing 10%, and the second time you made 10% without losing 10%. So when you get to the actual act of trading, like now you are managing let's say the $50,000 account.
Yeah.
And you fail to meet that expectation of making 10% at the end of the month. What happens? They keep out of the challenge or something.
Okay, very good question. So to answer this question, I'm just gonna answer it with some proof. So one should become sorry guys, I am corona free. So to answer that question, I've come onto their website, and it says here, right, that if you once you become a funded trader, there is no profit target, so you no longer have to make that 10% a month. So you can make 1%, 2%, 3%. It's fine.
Provided that you don't lose the 10%.
Yeah, provided that you don't lose the 10%, or you don't lose 5% in one day.
Okay.
Which, of course, if you're risking 1% or even better 0.5, you should never be losing 5% in one day. But again, how you'll be able to do that will be dependent on your ability to control risk management, to practice risk management, right? So yeah, risk management is absolute key. Right. Any other questions? By the way, Michelle, I hope I answered that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, Frank, I have a question.
Yep.
With all the information you've given us,
Yep.
are we to approach this one of the three individually, and then you're going to form a team of us, or is it specific to the VIP group? I don't know. How do you come in?
Okay. So Actuary FX has multiple branches. So there is the free group, which is just a community where traders can come on and communicate with other traders, because we think that's really important. And on that platform, as you may have seen, you can post whatever you want, you can ask any questions, and traders can kind of give their ideas. But another branch of that is the VIP, which is already a group of people that have been together. I'm not quite sure I'm not exactly sure how long, because I've also come onto that over the last month or so. But there's already a group of traders that have been together for a number of months that are already going through all these things, right? So, for example, if you were interested, you would approach one of the admins, say, hey, I don't know, I'm interested and I would like to learn, or anything along those lines, and then they would talk you through the process. I think there's one of us will actually give you an introduction, or more of an introduction of exactly what we offer, how everything goes. You would come on board, right? Once you come on board, you will be made familiar with all of our services, with everybody, with all the tools that you need, and so on. And then you're part of the group. So I think at the moment there's about 20. I think just under 26. I think. Aggie, can you help me? How many are in the group at the moment? She might not be, but yeah. So there's over the group has over 20 members so far. That I'm sure of. So does that answer your question by any chance? Okay, so the team is made out of 23 people at the moment. So there is already a team that is already working towards this, basically. And just probably a little bit more information regarding that. Let me see something. Oh, it's not on here. So one of the things that when you come on board, one of the things that we do is we have one-on-one calls with you. Now, the whole point of having one-on-one calls, so you'd have one-on-one calls with the mentor, so with either me, Dennis, or Martin. The whole point of a one-on-one call is that we give you a custom service. So we provide you custom value. We know people will join us at different levels in their trading career. Some people have been trading and have had some sort of information regarding trading. Some people have come to us with absolutely no trading information, right? So if we were to only have one call where everybody was involved, there are some people that would understand what's been spoken about and others would not. So we came up with an idea of having one-on-ones. So a one-on-one is between you and your and one of the mentors, of where you go through and create a personal development plan, right? And out of that development plan, there'll be exercises that you will be set, weekly exercises, right? So after our conversation, after our one-on-one, you will be set a few exercises that you should complete, and then you can ask any question that you may have, right? Because we also understand not everybody would like to speak up in a group of people. So again, that one-on-one is really there for you. And I've been a part of multiple companies that are offering educational services, and they don't offer one-on-ones. They just think, or they assume that everybody has a level of knowledge, which is untrue, right? Some people learn faster than others. Some do not. Some people need a little bit more care, a little bit more information, a little bit more explanation. Some do not. So one of our biggest advantages is that we were able to give you that custom value, that custom service. Okay, well understood. All right, guys, any more questions?
Let me ask one.
Please, yeah.
What are the guarantees? Assuming I've gotten into it,
Yeah.
and put my part well.
Yeah.
So what are the guarantees that I'll get my share?
Well, so what you can do is go on YouTube, right, and type in FTMO funded traders withdrawal. So let me see if I can find something now. Right. So there are traders out there, and I think this is something that I'm going to also provide. I'm going to do a video of where I talk about the withdrawal process and actually prove that they actually pay out their money. But the reason why I haven't done that yet is there are multiple other funded traders out there that are doing the exact same sense, that have done the exact same thing. For example, there was this guy. So this guy.
So in the meantime, guys, I'm going to leave you there.
So he's just worked out that this is how much. So I can't move this, but basically, I think so this is the amount that he made, right? So again, this proves that you don't have to make 10%. So he's made 2.3%, and he said, hey, I want to withdraw that money. I want my share out of that money. So out of that, he's worked out that 70% is this 1.624, right? And then what happens is this is a communication between him and the owner, right, of where they communicate regarding that particular invoice, that particular money, right? And as we go forward, he should receive, so he's received a PayPal of the amount converted into euros, right? So there is this guarantee that yes, you are being paid, because people are being paid. And it's quite a big company as well, so obviously they have a lot of money. Does that answer your questions, Chris? Do I use this company? Have you been paid? Yes. I will do a video of exactly how that works. I'm actually working my way up to control 300,000K. So the challenge, I'm trying to take that 3 times, right? 3 times. But that means you're trading 3 different accounts. So that's been the challenge so far, but we'll get there. Somebody wants to be unmuted. Where is she? Right, Aggie, you're on.
Because you're trying to ask me how many were in the group, but I'm all muted. I can't talk.
Oh, sorry.
So I think we are 23, but I have something for Michelle. I hope that is his name, Michelle.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
Okay, you were saying something about being paid, and then you said if you don't make anything to 10%, right? So Frank, if he doesn't make any money, my assumption is this: if they're giving you a capital of 50K, that is their money, right?
Yep.
You only get paid from a percentage of what you make, right?
Yep.
Then that means if he doesn't make anything, then he's not gonna get paid, right?
Yep.
Then there's no reason then he's trading, right?
Sorry, there's
so
no.
Either way, even if he doesn't make 10%, at least you have to make something, because you get a percentage of what you make. Am I right to think so?
Yeah. So when you become a funded trader, there isn't a target that you must meet or in terms of your profits. So as a funded trader, you can make 2%. So for example, the guy that I'm sharing right now, he made a YouTube video of where he only made 2%, right? So even though he only made 2%, right? He was still able to make a withdrawal. He was still able to be paid, right? And of course, like any trading, even your own trading, if you don't make money, you don't get money. So that's a no given.
Are you good?
It is monthly. So you will have a withdrawal date, which is usually monthly. Yes. Guys, one of the things that you can do is go on YouTube and actually search for guys that have taken the FTMO challenge. There are so many videos, right? So many videos of guys either fading, passing, or whatever, and they talk about their experiences. So again, if you're trying to kind of motivate yourself to take this challenge, or to get to a point of where you have the skills required to take the challenge, there's no better way than listening or surrounding yourself with information about that challenge. One of the ways you can do that is use YouTube to go through all their content regarding FTMO. That's what I did, and that's what I do in general about anything that I really want. I surround myself with as much information about that particular thing as possible, because the more you know about something, usually the more interested you tend to become, right? So for example, earlier on I mentioned a guy called Etienne who has a podcast which interviews professional traders. Guys, you should be listening to them, because those guys are exactly where you want to be, if that's where you want to be, right? Desire to trade, right? Find this guy.
What is the name?
His name is Etienne. Desire to trade,
Oh, yeah.
right? And there are people talking so many different, just talking about their experiences, and there's so many interviews here, so many interviews, and traders from all walks of life. So it's quite useful. I found this to be really useful, and to be fair, I think he's played quite a big part in me becoming where I am. Hello. Right, guys, so is everybody okay?
Pretty much.
Okay. So guys, thank you for your
Everybody, me.
huh?
I shouldn't say everybody, I'm saying on my side.
Alright. So guys, thank you for taking out your time today. Clearly you have an interest, right? And I spoke about that entire process, right? Belief, thought, emotions, actions, and results, right? So remember that process. I'll repeat it again: beliefs, thoughts, emotions, actions, and results, right? So please remember that. So thank you very much. Have an amazing weekend, and hopefully we will be in contact at some point. If you have any questions, you're in the free group, ask them, right? And we'll have that conversation. So thank you guys, and have an amazing weekend. All right, guys, bye bye everyone.
Thank you, Frank.
Atrio FX, Forex signals and education services. Atria FX, Forex Signals and Education Services.